So guys, Thunderbolts releases in just 2 days time, and I could not be more excited to see this movie, especially coming off of the disaster that was Captain America Brave New World. I think we all need a palate cleanser, and also the fact that this is tonally kind of going back to the Captain America kind of Winter Soldier kind of tone for the MCU. I think a lot of fans are very excited to see this Thunderbolts movie. So what we're going to be doing in this video, we're going to be checking out the tomato meter, seeing what the review score is currently at. Then we'll go over and check out the top critic reviews and see what people are saying about this movie. So let's start off here. So looking on RottenTomatoes.com, the score is currently sitting at 88% from 113 reviews. So, I mean, that's a pretty impressive score for an MCU movie. Like I keep saying, coming off of Captain America Brave New World, this is exactly what we wanted to hear. We don't want another disaster for the MCU. That just wouldn't be good whatsoever. Especially as we get closer and closer to the next Avengers films, they need to start picking up the pace. They need to start doing great things with these movies, introducing, Fantastic Four and doing all these different kind of character-driven stories to get us ready for the next Avenger movies. So 88% is a really great score. I mean, that score could fluctuate if there's more reviews to come online, but 88%, I'm pretty happy with that as an MCU fan. From 113 reviews. Obviously, there's no popcorn meter at the moment as the film has not released, so there's no user reviews of this at the moment. So going down here, looking at the critic consensus, assembling a ragtag band of underdogs with Florence Pugh as their magnetic standout, Thunderbolts refreshingly goes back to the tried and true blueprint of MCU's best adventures. Yeah, like I say, tonally, kind of Captain America, Winter Soldier, that's the kind of feel that I think a lot of the MCU fan base are kind of feeling around this movie, and I think that's what's got most people excited. So, before we get into the top critic reviews, I just want to go over and show you guys this quickly. So, this is just about the box office predictions, which is quite interesting. So, the most recent estimates predicted a 63 million to 73 million domestic bow, but the Hollywood Reporter is now reporting that it will likely be closer to 70 million to 75 million. So that's the domestic takings, between 70 and 75, which is pretty impressive, and it could climb as high as 175 million worldwide on a production budget of 180 million, obviously before marketing costs. So its opening weekend in totality could be 175 and its domestic somewhere between 70 and 75. So it's looking pretty impressive when it comes to the box office figures for the opening weekend of this movie, which is great. But anyway, with that down, let's move on to what we're here to talk about, which is the top critic reviews. So starting here at San Jose Mercury, Thunderbolts doesn't rush the action, but it does deliver the staples that superhero fans crave while respecting the need to create a bolder story than what the superhero genre has been delivering as of late. So that's great to hear. It's doing something that we haven't been getting much lately, which is good stories. From the Toronto Star, I would have preferred less strum and drang, and more attempts at comedy though. To be fair, the script's best lines are handed with a flourish to DeFontaine. She prowls through the film like a cat who's read Machiavelli and found it wanting. From Empire Magazine, it doesn't always land, but it dares to be different. From the title to the team up, fresh and thoughtful in a way recent Marvel efforts haven't always managed. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the later phases of the MCU, it's been hit and miss kind of all over the place. So, moving on to next, The Guardian. If it ultimately works, it's all due to Pugh, who can wrestle sincerity out of a screenplay and a franchise that has so little, capturing a whole emotional arc in just her moments of silence. From the Irish Times, it is a shame that the project feels filmsier than the average TV show pilot, but after the catastrophe that was Captain America Brave New World, yeah, that movie was just, man, now that I look back on it, it's just worse than it was at the time. It just gets worse every time I look at that movie. One can celebrate something that at least has a middle between its beginning and its end. Okay, moving on to the film Maven. For all its flaws, Thunderbolts is one of the stronger Marvel entities to come out in a while, and certainly the best film of the year so far. From Hey You Guys, this is a gritty, chaotic, and sometimes uneven return to the best of the old MCU. That's exactly what people want, the older kind of style and tone of MCU. It is thrilling and heartfelt, and best of all, it proves Marvel can still surprise us when it stops trying to please everyone and leans into the weirdness. From the Associated Press, all of the ensemble parts are here, including an especially high quality cast. Even Wendell Pierce work together seamlessly in a way that Marvel hasn't in some time. Most of all, Pugh commands every bit of the movie. Yeah, she's been front and center in all the marketing for obvious reasons. She's just a powerhouse actress, and they just put her front and center in this movie, and they made the absolute correct choice to do that. From the Globe and Mail, fortunately and shockingly, given just how many arcs the film has to balance and serve, the whole thing works because it's so explicitly rooted in character, not twists. From The Independent here in the UK, enough to make those self-declared victims of superhero fatigue reconsider it might not be the genre itself that's tapped out, but merely the focus on telling stories versus marketing future sequels and the sickly shimmer of nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people talk about superhero fatigue. Is it the case of superhero fatigue? People are getting fed up with superhero movies? Or is it just the case that they've just been getting mundane and kind of rehashing old stories that we've heard time and time again? There's nothing new being added to the genre, so to speak. From the Times here in the UK as well, in the end, the most radical element of this revamped Marvel entry is the suggestion that the problems of the world can't be solved by a superpowered punch to the face, but by a heartfelt hug. Sappy and saccharine, perhaps. From the San Francisco Chronicle, directed by Berkeley native Jake Schreier, Thunderbolts filmmaking is notably gritty, as in dirt under one's nails, messy and real feeling, and that's good. And we have our first negative review here from the Daily Telegraph here in the UK as well. Despite its notionally spiky tone, moroseness is the film's root chord. From the BBC.com, that's why Thunderbolts is so much better than most of Marvel's post-Endgame films. It's not just because it's a rough-edged, big-heart spy thriller about lovable, clueless anti-heroes, it's because it has an actor as charismatic as Pugh at the centre. From the Film Verdict, if The Avengers was the movie 2012 America needed, reveling in Obama-era exuberance while reeling in the 9/11, then Thunderbolts fits 2025, presenting a world where everything kind of sucks and powerful people seem intent on crafting your demise. A bit philosophical there for a movie review, I have to say. Okay, so everyone in the film is having a grand old time. Its dark humour suits the actors, but Pugh is the centre. Her performance combines Yelena's pain and guilt with weary humour. She may be the worst low-key movie star going, yet you're drawn to her. From Screen International, after years of watching exploits of all-powerful superheroes, there's pleasure in hanging out with some MCU characters who, for once, are underestimated. Yeah, I think that's what's drawn a lot of people to this movie as well. The fact that it's kind of like a ragtag group of heroes who are kind of like the underdogs. They're not as powered as someone say as like Captain Marvel or Thor or Iron Man. These are kind of like street level kind of characters. And I think that's what kind of makes them more relatable to the everyday kind of person. And that's why a lot of people are excited about this movie. So, from Consequence, in many ways, Thunderbolts feels like a breath of fresh air and a notable step forward for the MCU as a whole, which is pretty remarkable given that this is a cast of characters where the literal point is that they're loose ends left adrift. So, from USA Today, Thunderbolts reminds us of how vital and relatable the MCU still is when it wants to be, and how hugs and friendship at the end of the day are essential to everyone, even a motley crew of unlikely heroes. From New York Magazine, the final review we have here, Pugh in particular gives this movie an emotional tangibility that makes it feel reams more solid than the last few years of Marvel product. So there's a lot of reviews here saying that this is basically better than what Marvel have been putting out in recent years, that Florence Pugh is kind of the center character here, that this movie revolves around, the narrative, the emotional punch of the story. And a lot of people are really enjoying what this movie has to offer, it seems. We only have one splat, only one Rotten Tomato kind of review here in the top critics. So that goes, that bodes well for the movie, and that gets me all the more excited. But going back over here, so that's where we are, guys. So 88% from 113 reviews. That score may change in the coming days or weeks. I don't think it's going to change a lot from there. I think we're going to be still hovering around this kind of level. It could go up to like 90, could go down to 85. Depends how many more reviews there are to come online. I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot more, but we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, 88%, very respectable score for this entry in Marvel. That's exactly what they needed after that disaster of Captain America Brave New World. So guys, after seeing the reviews and the tomato meter score here, are you more excited for this movie? Do you have your ticket? Are you planning to see it over the weekend? Whatever your thoughts are, jump into the comment section and let me know what you think. As always, make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far, as it goes a long way to supporting the content, and I would really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.